This podcast is sponsored by Manscaped. Star Wars fans, it is a sad, sad day for us. Well, video game fans and Star Wars fans combined, it is a sad, sad week for us. KOTOR, I don't want to say it's completely dead, but there's a very good chance that it just might be. I see some tears from Bobby right there, man. I see those tears. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Waypoint podcast here on 5-9 Direct. My name is Tallen, joined by the crew, LittleChin and LittleBobby. And today we're gonna be bringing the gaming news. Let's just get straight into it. KOTOR, like we said at the very beginning right there, it's been a hard day. I've been seeing news videos, I've been seeing people talk about it, discussions, you name it, across the YouTube and podcast areas. And oh man, it is hitting people right now, because that, if you talk to anyone who's wanted a remake for something aside from like Final Fantasy VII, this is definitely up there. And now with high people getting fired and supposed release date was even supposed to be 2022, it's been ridiculous now. So for those of you who don't know, real quickly, we'll give you the basics real quick. About, I want to say a year ago or so, year and a half ago or so, the KOTOR remake was announced to actually be headed up by one of the studios, I believe, that mostly does PC ports, if I remember correctly. And they were looking to release this sometime in 2022. Of course, we knew with the pandemic and everything and still working from home, and that was a very fast turnaround for that type of stuff. And even some news about how the original people from BioWare are not really involved with it or anything, which is kind of crazy to even think about. And we haven't really heard anything about it after we saw the initial trailer and everything. And by initial trailer, I simply mean seeing a Sith in a really cool HD looking, shot and everything. And then all of a sudden this week we see that like the head designer and the head artist or graphic designer or something like that were both fired / laid off. We don't know the details about exactly why they were. And basically the boss of the whole project was like, yeah, this is put on hiatus indefinitely until some things are changed. And some inside news was saying that, instead of this 2022 release, which was never really going to happen the more we think about it, they are now saying a more realistic approach to it would probably be more like a 2025 release, which I personally would have been a little bit more like, okay, yeah, I expect that, but I don't know. So those are basically all the little details we know. Again, not really much, but it has been felt across the interwebs like no tomorrow. What are your guys' thoughts on this? I leave it to the floor for you guys.
I'm heartbroken. I am such a big fan of these games. Like they are in my top, both of them are in the top 10 games of all time for me. Like they are fantastic turn-based RPGs. Like they're great. Their stories are great. I mean, obviously they're dated nowadays, right? They came out in like what, 2003, 2005? Like they're really old games. Yeah, but I these things hold such a special place in my heart, because believe it or not, no matter how young you think I am, I did live in the day and age where you saw video game sales and in magazines and newspapers, and that was actually the first place I ever saw these games. I saw both of them on sale at Target, and I asked my aunt, I was like, I want these for my birthday, and she told my mom, and I got both of them for Christmas. That because my birthday and Christmas are like right next to each other.
Yes.
He played them well. I was addicted. Like they were hard for me back in the day. Like they're hard. Like these D&D style turn-based RPG games that I'm a little impatient ADD, so it was hard to really get a full grasp on it. But like I was addicted to these games. They were so much fun. And seeing that a remake was coming to end, well, I think that was like the end of that PlayStation announcement, right? Or God of War technically was, I think, or Spider-Man. Or God of War.
That was like one of the big ones there. Yeah.
God of War.
Actually, I think it was the opening thing. I think it was literally the opening thing.
It was either the opening. Yeah, I think it was the opening. It was definitely the beginning half of that showcase. Yeah.
It was beginning of that showcase, and my mind was blown. I was texting my brothers. I was like, no way. I was like, oh my God, it's been so long. And then that news came out, and like, it was actually one of my coworkers that told me. He's like, did you hear the news? I was like, what? He's like, KOTOR's dead. And I was like, no, it can't be.
No. I know. He works about 50 miles away from the house, and I'm pretty sure I heard like the Darth Vader, no, like come over the hill, like it was so bad, because I saw the tweet, and then like 5 minutes later, I just get the Discord message where he's like, "Why? Like, no."
I was gonna say that Chin was bad. It was bad when it was the Chin the one telling all of us because we're usually one of the first ones. But Chin was like, "Guys, look," and that's how I found out. I was like, "Wait, what is Chin talking about? This is crazy for Chin to say something."
I'm always last on news. It's either us or like Gail's always throwing stuff for us, and it was me. It was me who put it in there,
dude. First thing I ever do whenever I wake up, I don't check the DMs first. I check the general chat because that's just generally like you'll see some news or something like that. I see Chin. No, the notification from Chin, and I'm like, oh God, what's going on here? And I see KOTOR like delayed. I'm like, oh, like because all it says is delayed, right? So it's just a very small one. So I'm like, okay, kind of saw it coming, not too much. And all of a sudden, I see like 4 notifications and like graphics requests, editors requests, and everything for Bobby making the video and everything. I'm just like, what's going on here, guys? And then I check DMs and everything. I'm like, oh my God, what? Oh my God. Like basic type of thing. I was just like, oh my God. Like
it's so upsetting. And like we kind of talked about this on our own in our DMs, right? But like it's really hard to like this was a big thing for PlayStation, right? It's not the biggest thing. They have so many big projects, right? But this was something that that they were like, we're going to take this, we're going to steal this from Microsoft because this was their exclusive back in the day. It's going to be huge for us. And I don't know, it just kind of makes me wonder, like maybe I'm just coping really hard, but I have faith that this isn't dead and they really are going to be looking for new directors to take over because how much money do you think Sony has involved in this? And they're probably like, you can't let this die.
I have I actually have 2 theories on this because I actually put a poll out on our community page on YouTube. So by the way, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out real quick and give us your answer on that poll. One of the answers I gave was it's dead for now, but it will come back because I absolutely agree 100% with Chin that I don't think that this is completely dead. I really don't think. It's probably kind of like put on the back burner for now until they get like a real like set of people ready to go to really hammer and hit this home, right? Because when you looked at it originally, like it was being made by people who are mostly known for just simply PC ports, right? Like this is like a full remake in our vision, especially for a game that's this old. We're thinking those same levels of Final Fantasy VII remake, right? Not this, Last of Us remake and everything. Sorry, Bobby, I had to take the shot at you.
That's fine.
But
I'm still paying for it. I don't give a shit.
I know you are. We'll get to that later. But anyway, so I think most people are expecting that level of remake, right? And then all of a sudden it'd be like, oh, by the way, it's coming out in 2022. We're like, really? Like that's pretty short timing right there. So
very short timing.
My hope is that either A, they're really gonna get it, kind of like take that team that they had and kind of like set the people aside that really want to make this game. Set it aside, really hire some new talent and everything, or get some people from other areas and everything like that. Make their own new team and then make that remake, or get one of their however many teams that Sony already has under them and everything, and be like, okay, look, you've done this, and this game, and it's so phenomenally go crazy with this remake, essentially, right?
I told Bobby that I think I believe who's the company that did Demon Souls was Bluepoint, right?
Yes, I believe yes.
Bluepoint. Like I was saying, like because this isn't a Sony project, right? This is they probably have money funding into this, but this is Asper, Aspire. I think that's what
I think it's Aspire, and I said Asper the whole video, and I realized afterwards I was like, I probably sound like a jackass, but
it's definitely
they're
Aspire,
jackasses for not getting this game right. Okay, no,
that's
but because it's headed by Embracer Group, which we know they're a big publisher, big I would say big up and coming, but they have like 2K or they have Borderlands under their name, so they're not like up and coming. They have big brands, but I just wonder if Sony might be like, hey, why don't we why don't we take over this more for one of our groups? We'll still bring this to PC. We'll still bring this to other consoles when it comes out, but at least we can get it on track. That's just my hope. I mean, I haven't seen anything from Sony saying anything. Haven't seen, them just saying anything besides it's on pause, which is probably the most they can say right now. So
the only thing that worries me is like indefinite hiatus, right? There's been very few games that make it out of that. And the one I can think of,
I'm going. You're gonna go where I'm going. You're gonna go where I was gonna go. Damn it! Go ahead, take it there.
What I was gonna say is the one that I can think of off the top of my head, and this is because I'm old, is Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh,
right.
Okay,
which actually came out after like 12 years of development,
12 years or something like that,
and was awful. It was so bad, and I mean, there's nothing you could do to fix that game. But
Hey,
hopefully,
what were you
fingers
thinking,
crossed. we can see
Lethal?
it.
What were you thinking, Lethal?
No,
What was-
so I was gonna go the same direction as Bobby, because when you read more into this story by Jason Schreier, he was talking about how like at Aspire they pretty much used like the resources and assets and everything that they got too much on the demo, and they like messed up in terms of like where they should have used it. There's a lot of like misuse of like assets and money and stuff like that. And the first thing that came to my mind was, oh my god, this sounds like the Scalebound project by Microsoft and Platinum Games, and that went to shit. And that thing got canceled because the studio messed up, and then you had Microsoft kind of back out because they're like, yo, you guys don't know what's going on here, but like they backed out. So this got me thinking like this could be a similar situation where Sony could be like, listen, we're backing out. We don't know what you guys are doing or what's happening here, but like it is a project that no one wants to see, you know, go to shit or anything. So, but when Bobby went that direction, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I pray to God this isn't another Scalebound situation, because this is definitely, not only is it a big IP, but this is just one of those games where, again, we all saw that PlayStation showcase. We were like, oh my god, a PS5 remake exclusive, right, for of KOTOR. Like that's huge.
Yeah,
so
that was a really hype
project.
announcement.
Yeah. Hopefully, what my hope is that Sony obviously saw the hype, you know, behind something like that, and they are going to properly make a team now to really focus on this remake and make sure they get it right this time, and hopefully bring out a hiatus. I mean, it hasn't even been a week since the news dropped, right? So who knows? Maybe, I mean, because maybe by the September Sony showcase or something, or PlayStation showcase or whatever that we're expecting, right, which is more of the first party stuff, maybe we'll see something from there and finally be like, hey guys, by the way, quick update on the KOTOR stuff. Maybe. Big maybe. I know it's a big asking.
Yeah, that's definitely a big maybe.
I'm hoping.
None of this matters. Lethal, show me that water bottle again.
The what? The water bottle?
Bro, is that like 1.5 gallons in your hand?
As
right
you can
there,
tell,
bro?
I got like a green aesthetic going on today
You
for today's
do.
podcast. And I was
he's
like, I looked at
switched
the water
sides.
bottle.
I mean, my
I
water
did,
bottle's pretty
I
big,
did.
Chin. Like,
Yeah. How long does that take you to fill? 3 minutes? Like on like a faucet,
it does.
dude?
This
How
is
big
definitely
is
like
it?
a 5-minute fill up. Yeah. I know it's a
Gallon and a
gallon.
half.
It's
Oh
just
my
a gallon, yeah.
it's a gallon. This man's
Yeah, it's a
like
gallon.
just a milk carton is cheaper.
Listen, I
Just throw
got
the water,
tired of
okay?
buying the water packs and having like a shit ton of water bottles just like on my floor, and I was like, this can't
crinkling
happen.
sounds.
I was like, this can't. Yeah, I was like, I can't do that no more. We gotta just buy the gallon, get rid of the water bottles, and
It's
just
gonna
fill it up
save
like
you so much money because you just have to
Yeah.
watch
It's-
that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, Tallen, so much money. And it's got the times on it, Tallen. Look at it. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh,
It
yeah,
tells
that's
you like,
pretty
yo,
good. Chin, you
drink
need
it,
one of
drink
those,
it now,
man.
drink it now, drink it now. And I'm like, all right,
I got
need that.
40-ounce hydro flask that I got for free. Actually, I have 3 hydro
That
flasks
works.
now that I've all gotten
That
for
works.
free. So I'm set. Actually, that's not true. I actually, you're right. I do. One of my coworkers has one of those, and I've been big jealous of it. It's gigantic. That was huge.
It's
brother.
large and
as
in
big as your
charge.
head.
Yes, sir.
It's as big as my head.
Okay, sorry to derail. I was just mystified by it.
That's okay.
I'm
You
sure
admire
the
it.
audience will enjoy that little side bit. So
That's a water bottle fit for Thor, dude. Like that thing's huge, man. Your bladder's not okay. You have to
Oh
pee
my
right
God.
now. I know you do.
Don't I tell you guys every podcast, like, I gotta go bathroom. If I gotta go, I might just like run out and go. So like that happens almost all the time. But
There we
we're
go.
good. We're good.
all right,
It's
Anyway,
worth it.
I think regardless though, we're all devastated by the news. Obviously, I think guys, let us know your thoughts on both the comments. But at the same time, I think we're all very hopeful that don't die completely. Sony, come on, don't be Microsoft. Don't be Microsoft like with their Japanese partners and everything. Like actually, you know, just be like give them a firm talking to, right? Just be a firm talking, be like, yo, what the F are you guys doing? Let's get this back on schedule here, okay?
Star Wars is so hype right now.
It
Like,
is.
like
They'll
so many
save
Star
that
Wars
project.
projects are
That-
doing so
that
well.
won't go nowhere. Yeah.
Like it can't. It's finally the first game outside of EA's clutches on
Yeah,
the Star Wars
exactly.
franchise. And
Exactly.
I was really hoping that we could get it.
You say that, but like
Exactly.
Battlefront 2 and Fallen Order were so good. you
Oh,
know?
I know. They were.
Battlefront
They were.
2 was
It
only
should-
good because we gave them so much crap, though. Could you imagine
That
if it had
is
stayed
true.
the way that they originally brought it out?
I didn't say anything about that, Talon. I said it ended up so good. But yeah, you're right.
Ended up,
EA.
yeah. And then unfortunately, right as it finally started getting steam and people started coming back and everything, they dropped
They're
support
like, okay,
for it.
They're
No more.
just like,
Yeah, no
yeah,
more.
we're done. Same thing Respawn did with
like, oh.
Titanfall 2. Pain.
I know.
Apex, but Apex
Uh,
is great.
Nah,
I-
dude,
I-
Titanfall's
I-
way better. Titanfall.
Yeah, we
Yeah, it is.
stand Titanfall.
Titanfall is
Titanfall's
better
so good.
than
No
Apex.
argument.
Just saying that right now.
No argument here.
Yeah, Titanfall 2
no
is the
argument,
best first person shooter in terms of like PvP that I ever played. It was like that
I mean,
perfect
I'll fight
mix of
Lethal
arcadey, arcadey but really high skill ceiling, right? Like running on the walls and like catching zip lines and using all your tools, like being able to like grapple hook someone, pull them in, melee them, and then when they fly off, you shoot them down. Like that was so cool. Like,
Yep.
I miss it.
I'm telling you, I have no arguments. I was gonna say I'll fight Lethal. That Red Dead 2 is amazing all day long, but we're on the same vein here.
I can't argue with that with Titanfall.
There we go.
That's so
Alright.
good.
Titanfall, there's
It's one of the
nothing
good
to be
ones.
said.
All right. Well,
Beautiful game.
before we go to our next topic real quick, guys, here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Dude, I gotta be honest. I'm having a real tough time shaving my pubes lately. I'm talking, it's like a woolly mammoth down there. Like sheep's wool. Like I need some sheep shears to get through my man wool, man. I don't know what to do anymore. Okay, first off, you're gross. Second, why don't you just use Manscaped like everybody else? Manscaped? It's Manscaped. You're telling me that you don't know about the Lawnmower 4.0? No, I don't know about the Lawnmower 4.0 is one of the most magnificent things I've ever held in my hand. With its cutting-edge ceramic blade to help reduce grooming accidents thanks to Manscaped's advanced skin-safe technology. Cutting edge. It's elegant, waterproof design so that I never have a messy bathroom floor ever again. Waterproof. And even a 400K LED spotlight in case I need the most precise shave. LED? You're telling me you don't have one of these? Come on, man. Finally. An answer to my prayers. Don't let this be all naught but lies. Manscaped for me is the true prize. No, no, it cannot be. It's just as he said. Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0. Just for me. Never again shall my bush be out of control and so unruly. He will rise up with more so trimmed. Well turns the earth to rise, my friends. He will. I will fly free with my balls so clean. Thanks to you, my friend. Lawnmower 4.0. Mine at last. Mine at last.
All right, guys. So we hope you enjoyed Chin's lovely singing voice there. If you have ever wanted to groom yourself down there, guys, and ladies, if you happen to have a guy in your life that could use a little trimming down there, then by all means, please use code 59direct and you get 20% off and free shipping. International, by the way, as well. Got shipped to me in Japan, so no problems at all. So, Chin, great job as always with that one. All right, let's go on to the next topic here, which is going to be kind of two parts mixed in together. So the first one is, it's been about a month or so, give or take, since the PlayStation Plus Extra and the premium status stuff came out and has been available to pretty much everyone to my knowledge. Lethal, you are I was gonna say you are a dedicated PlayStation guy, but you're going green today, and man, I don't know, people might be calling you out here. But since you are usually our dedicated PlayStation guy, what are your thoughts on it? Because for the most part, I feel like there hasn't really been
did you just try to change your colors? Was that a line that didn't change?
He tried.
I saw that.
He's totally trying to
Yeah, I failed, damn it, Did the camera catch that?
I did.
Yeah,
It did.
you can't see it.
rewind real quick.
I tried to be so smooth. I was like, damn it, come on, like switch real quick. Come on, damn it.
See, I set the trend, and Lethal couldn't even keep up with it, man.
Oh my god, I tried so hard.
Totally
I tried so hard.
You gave up after one click.
I
You didn't even
forgot.
try to double click it.
No, I forgot that I zoomed out the camera for today. I was like, let me do a little bit more of a zoom out, and you can totally see any arm action now. I'm like, oh no.
Well, change it
That's
now. You
so
might as well.
funny.
You know, don't sit in
you
green.
gotta change
please.
it now.
No.
So. Anyway,
No, we're gonna keep it green. We're gonna keep it green. It's
Oh.
okay.
Your controller's dead. That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
battery.
I
needs a
think
new
it is
watch
actually
battery.
dead. It's not working. Look, it's not working. So I give up. I don't know what's going on.
there we go. All right. Anyway, well,
Oh,
Lethal,
man.
let us know. So I haven't seen anyone like really like bash this system, right? Like people are still saying it's not as good as Game Pass simply because they don't get the day ones, even though we knew from the get go Sony was never going to do that. You know, because people who play Sony games, they're going to go buy them day one anyway, right? God of War, you think just by not putting God of War for a day one thing, dude, that game is going to sell like no tomorrow. It's
Already bought it?
No,
Of course.
yeah, exactly.
Already bought it.
I already
I
bought
think we all
two.
did, right? I think
All
we
of us
all
have.
got the edition.
Yeah, exactly.
Already bought it.
So what are your thoughts? So Lethal, first off, what are your thoughts just simply on it? Because I know you have it, and then Chin, I know you also have it as well. But then what's like the word around the interwebs and everything right now? Like, are people liking it? Are they buying it? Are they only going for the extra? You know, what are your thoughts? Give us details.
From what
Go
I've
ahead.
seen, I feel like people were trying to hate on it, and they can't really. Like, I feel like people don't have like a valid argument to hate it because Sony was completely honest of what it was going to be.
Right.
They set expectations completely properly. And like the only thing you can be upset about is something that they said was going to happen where you're streaming PS3 games, like, right? Like I still don't like that. It is still a negative to me, but I can't say it's a flop because of that. I will say, while they've been excellent at giving us games right now, like I know Yakuza's coming, like not just like a Dragon, but the rest of the Yakuza games are coming. You've got the Assassin's Creed, except for 3. Even though there was remade, they could put 3 on there. But anyways, they've got a bunch of good Assassin's Creeds on there. And you know, we got day one like Stray. The only thing that I feel like they're very slacking on, and there's probably a very good reason for it, is the classic games. It feels like that collection is not increasing at the rate that I would have expected. Like we still don't have Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasies, like these huge games. Reasons again could be my copium that they're just remaking these games into beautiful, pristine condition for 2022 and beyond. But yeah, I mean, I like it for my use. It's really great. I didn't have to open my Guardians game up. It can stay nice and wrapped up and pristine forever, and I can play the game downloaded.
I know. I bought him
you're
that
gonna sell
for
that in 30
Christmas.
years, aren't you?
He's gonna get it.
What
He's
about
gonna
you?
get minted and appraised. You know, like the Pokemon cards, like original sealed Guardians of the Galaxy 9.7 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
$12.
It's gonna give me like 15 bucks. But what? I mean, were you seeing similar things, Lethal? Because that's kind of what I saw about it.
I was gonna say, I do think like when they launched the new PlayStation Plus, it just so happened that like Xbox hasn't been doing too well with Game Pass. Like people were joking with Game Pass that their last big game was like Peppa Pig, and like they were like, Jesus Christ, like really Peppa Pig? And you have Sony just launching their new PS Plus. Like, well, obviously is gonna look better. Like the first month of PS Plus, I think the new one was like, wasn't like Crash Bandicoot, or like the month after was like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
The newest one with like Man of Medan. They also did a day one debut of our Arcade-Ageddon, and then they did the whole Assassin's Creed and everything. And so like that alone, right, versus like what Game Pass had, it was like, boom, killed Game Pass. And so I think the topic was like, you know, like kind of what Shin was saying was like, you know, people were enjoying it. They were like, oh, looks really good in comparison to what Xbox was giving out. Going on to like, you know, the next month now, right? We're looking at what did we just get?
Tony Hawk is coming next month, right?
Tony Hawk and stuff like that. Yeah, there was another big one too. It's gonna
Yakuza?
bother me now. No. Yeah, it was Yakuza and like Little Nightmares.
Little
And stuff
Nightmares?
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so like that's like another like pretty good month. I mean, Tony Hawk alone, it's coming with both games. Like that's really good. And if people love Yakuza, the newest one, like a Dragon, I think. So again, it's another really good month. Plus, we had Stray that came out. That was just earlier this month too. So like, looking at overall like what they've been doing so far, with it just launching last month, it looks really good. Again, in comparison to what Game Pass is doing, it's like they have nothing. I mean, they also just happened to launch, what was it? I think it was As Dusk Falls. That was their game that they launched. But of course, Stray broke the internet, right? Stray just went everywhere. We're talking not just PlayStation, Steam, like it broke off the charts. So of course, people are going to associate that mostly with PlayStation and be like, PlayStation is now like killing, they're dominating. It's it. Like, Game Pass is done. So that is always going to be like the joke. But aside from that, my usage, I think it's pretty similar to Chin's, where it's like I'm getting my use out of it. Like I still think though, like even when on my videos that I put up for the Fight on Direct channel, that I think the extra tier is like the best tier. Like premium tier, if you really, I don't even think I've touched game trials. I don't know if Chin, have you touched any of the game trials?
I have.
You did?
Actually.
Okay.
I did Hot Wheels.
You did Hot Wheels,
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
I haven't found one where I was like, do I want to? Like Horizon Forbidden West, I played that day one. The other one was Biomutant. I was like, do I want to play Biomutant? I was like, nah, I really don't want to play Biomutant. I tried to play I did play a classic game. I played Ape Escape, but like I've also played that like 20 times. So I'm like, there hasn't been a classic game where I'm like, I really want to play that. Even looking at the new ones that are coming out, I was like, nah, I think it's like Loco Roco. I was like, I don't want to play no Loco Roco. I'm good. I'll pass on my Loco Rocos. I'll wait. I want like a Dino Crisis or something like that. Like, give me a good vintage one. Like, give me a good classic. So I do think in terms of classics, yeah, I agree. They that's something that they definitely have to work on. But extra tier, that's the spot. That is the hot spot because the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games that they do drop are bangers. It's like absolutely good. The things that do get kind of convoluted and kind of weird is like when you look at like I think like the Yakuza games, for example, some of those will only be in premium tier, while some will be like in the extra and essential tier. So they're gonna start doing some weird things, and I don't know if that's gonna be the trend going forward because they seem like, at least with the last two updates, right? It's been like a bunch of Assassin's Creed games. Now it's a bunch of Yakuza games. I don't think they're gonna continue doing stuff like that, right? We're not gonna get like maybe the Persona games. I have no idea. Let's pray to God that doesn't happen because that will just break the internet, and then that shit will just go really bad. But hopefully they don't continue to try to do stuff like that. But it does get kind of weird. So it's like, I don't know, but at the end of the day, I would say extra tier is just a tier to go for, at least for right now. Give it time for them to get like the classic catalog up there to get some good stuff in there. But extra tier right now, it's the hot spot.
I think. No, go ahead, Bobby.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think you guys both brought up some really awesome points. Like Chin saying that the premium's not expanding as quick as you like. Right. And so now they're kind of filling it with stuff like, oh, here's a couple of the Yakuza games in there. They work just like extra, but they're putting it in there because they haven't expanded the catalog yet. But I think the main reason they're not expanding the catalog yet is I think Chin, you said it, like they want the games to look really good, right? And B, I think they're probably working on the streaming itself, right? Because Chin, I've watched you stream those old games and it's not very good.
Hooked up to gigabit internet, it was terrible. We have ridiculous internet. He is hardlined like 10 feet from the router, and he's playing Red Dead Redemption, and it's like, oh, that's nasty. Trying to stream PS3. I bet you the PSP games, right? Those probably work great because they're so small, right? But like the bigger games, they seem to really be having trouble with that. So I'm wondering if part of the premium tier being filled out is they're like, hey, we don't want to bring these really heavy hitter classics out while the streaming is still so like shaky.
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to improve that streaming service before they really like go, okay, here's Dino Crisis, here's Metal Gear Solid, here's the old stuff that you really want.
I think what's
okay.
I was just say that I don't like the precedent though of them putting like Yakuza games in the premium tier because that's the one thing that they said before it came out was that extra tier was PS4, PS5 games, and premium tier was the PS2, PS3, PSP games, right? They didn't say there might be PS4, PS5 games put in there.
Well, they even had that in the first month though, where I was looking through some of the game catalog and some of the PS4 games were already on premium only.
I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like maybe they'll change that, like you said, once they expand that catalog back up. But
yeah, I think they will.
Do you think the reason that the classic catalog is not going as fast is a combination of like them not able to properly emulate those, or do you think it has to do more with maybe like licensing and everything like that? Because we've seen that across the industry basically, right? Where everyone wants X game brought back because it's a classic and everything, but due to this song or whatever deal was done X amount of years ago, like they're not able to do that anymore. What do you think is the reason potentially for that?
Maybe I think performance is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because especially if it's going to be downloaded to the console and you're not streaming it, they really have to make sure that it's working perfectly within the system architecture, which is, that's why we can't do PS3 games, because they know it can't. They literally can't.
Oh God. Yeah. That was probably the one biggest flop of the PS3 was just trying to work with that architecture, that system, and they're still not able to make it work to this day. Like, which is so unfortunate because I would love to go back and play Infamous 1 and 2. Just saying.
Me too. Oh, but I mean, they have Infamous like First Son and stuff. Okay, it's not fun. It's not fun. I just don't enjoy it at all. Actually,
I'd say they should
give Infamous 2 is the best of all the Infamous games. I will die on that hill.
You know what's weird? Infamous 2 gave me this really weird feeling when I played it, and I couldn't finish it because of it. I don't know. The story just started off so weird. Big monster. And
you and me need to have a little talk. Mini 3 right now. Let's go.
He's gonna beat the shit out of me through the speakers and stuff. I don't know. Two felt weird. It was fun. It just felt weird. I don't know how to explain it. That's the only thing I can say is that it felt weird. I didn't finish it because one was awesome though.
All right.
It needed ragdoll, but it was awesome.
I mean, regardless, it seems that for the most part, you guys seem to be enjoying it, and it seems, aside from a few things, obviously, online play only with the PS3 games, and then the classic ones not being updated as often would definitely be an improvement. But overall, it seems to be exactly what Sony said it was going to be. They didn't set any expectations or say like, hey, you're going to be getting this and this, and all of a sudden you don't get like half that stuff. So I think, like Bobby said, they set their expectations from the get-go. We knew that the whole first party day one games was never going to happen, and it's been exactly what people have expected. So well, to see, I think the big thing to see though over the next, I would say 6 months to a year, is how often are they updating certain parts of it, which ones get neglected more, and what exactly is put onto those particular systems and everything. So.
One thing I will say is, like, I have the extra tier. I don't have the premium, but I was like, hey, I'll upgrade to the extra because Chin already showed me the streaming was kind of mid even before it came out for PS Now. Right. So I got the extra, and I have not at all been disappointed. I've got the new Assassin's Creed, well, not new, but the new update had the old Assassin's Creeds on it. So now I have Black Flag, which I'm playing right now. I have the Ezio collection downloaded. I have Rogue downloaded because I never played that one.
True Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, the real OG Assassin's Creed when that series was great, right? And then Stray. Like, Stray came out, and yeah, it's not a AAA, it's not God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, but Stray was such a good experience. It was well worth the membership to play that on day one. I've already played it twice. I'm working on a review for it right now. I'm going to play it one more time because it's such a short game, but it's so, like, especially once you know what you're doing, it's like there's literally a trophy to beat it in under 2 hours, right? So if you know what you're doing in that game and you know exactly who to talk to, where to go, 2 hours, it's like, that's easy. It's like an hour and 30 minutes you can beat the game. But
I mean, speaking of Stray, hasn't like already broken some like PC records and everything? Like, it's already at the top charts and everything.
I think it's
like
the highest rated game of this year.
Yeah,
and it's outsold God of War already on PC on Steam, which is nuts.
That was the other one, yeah.
That's crazy because so many people were hyped for God of War when it came out. Like, PC players are like, oh my God, I finally get to play this game that, PlayStation owners have been talking about for years, and it came out rave reviews, and then Stray comes out and it's like meow and just Kratos, sorry. And it's so cool. Like, it's the idea of Stray is really great. It's really simple. You're a cat, you do cat things, you sit on the edge of stuff and push stuff off, and like you could scratch on couches and you could scratch on carpets and you can rub up on people's legs. Obviously they don't have the real cat experience. You can't like spray a tree, but like if you could, that would have been, rated MA, but it's overall it's a really adorable game and well worth the entrance fee for extra for me already, because I've already, like I said, I've already played it twice. I'm gonna play it a third time really quick because I just love it. It's just such a fun little experience, and it's really much more emotional than I thought it would have been, which is kind of,
oh my god, just real quick, Annapurna Interactive is behind that game. So if you're a fan of Annapurna Interactive, I'm a big fan of that publisher. They make like just beautiful narrative games, like 12 Minutes, Artful Escape. They do so many good, just goddamn narrative.
They did Maquette too,
so
which
Stray,
Maquette was a weird little game. Yeah.
But like just real quick, Bobby. Yeah, like the story for that game.
Right, it's really good.
It's one of those games where you take the time to please interact with NPCs, interact with some of the collectibles, because all that stuff does give you a really nice story for it, and it's definitely one of those games.
And it builds the world
short
more.
And sweet.
Yeah, it builds the world more, and the
100%.
world of this game is actually really, really interesting. So to me, like that has made extra worth it so far. Like I played Arcadegeddon and I was like, this is fun. Like this is fine. You know, it's not the best thing I've ever played, but it's a fun little co-op game, you know, this little like third person shooter. And then Stray comes out and I was already hyped for it. And then I played through it and I was like, that was better than I thought it could be. Like I thought, this is going to be fun, like play as a cat. And then it came out and I was like, man, that's a pretty like heavy story, and you know, cat things. Like
the only thing I don't like about Stray is simply the name, because every time I see the name Stray, I think to our editor Stray, and I'm just like, God damn it for having the same name.
We need to put his avatar picture
sometimes. Yeah, I know.
We need to put his avatar picture just on the cat, you know?
Yep.
And that'll be
someone
it.
can mod.
It's happening.
Yeah. Someone can mod that sheep.
To do it.
Yes.
What's that game that he plays that the sheep's from? He loves that game. I don't even know what that game is called though. His little sheep icon.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
He was playing it on stream like a year ago now on the 5.9 stream. I don't know. Someone could just mod that sheep as the cat, and
there we go.
He can play the game from there. To be honest, I haven't played Stray, so I don't know much about the kitty cat game.
Get him, comment section. Get him.
I don't
play Stray. Peer pressure.
It's so
4
short,
hours,
dude. One afternoon. Yeah,
it's no more than 4 hours. It's no more than 4 hours.
Literally. My initial playthrough was like 5 hours. So, but that's also me wanting to like talk to NPCs and like talk to characters. So if you go through that, you can get that done in like 4 hours or less. Yeah.
My second playthrough was 2 hours and 10 minutes, and that's because I let all the cutscenes play out. Like because I was like, I love these cutscenes. They were great. You know.
Yeah. So plus, have you seen all the pictures across the internet of, you know, people's pets watching them play Stray? Like,
yeah, dude, it started a whole trend, man. It's so cool. I love when games like just break out like that, and also like good for the developer team, Blue 12 Studio, I believe it was. I think they're like a small French team. Like I watched some of the dev diary. I love watching dev diaries and stuff like that, and so like just what they did with the mocap with the cat with their own cat in the studio. I forget the cat's name, but like it's cool. It's a cool game. It's a really cool game, man.
Definitely is. Highly recommend it. So. All right, moving on to our next little bit of information real quick. We don't know much about it, so it's not gonna be as long. But real quickly, there have been some big changes over at Rockstar, and we seem to have not many details per se about GTA 6, but it is confirmed that it's still being worked on, so it's not canceled or anything. Again, we're not having a KOTOR situation or anything like that. So they do seem to be setting the game in fictional Miami from the sound of it. And they're going to have a female protagonist. So it's very similar to how the very first game of GTA actually had a female protagonist as well. So that's really cool. But just overall, though, there are huge expectations for GTA 6, especially with how popular GTA Online is. And then GTA 5, obviously, still being played to this day by many people, including our very own Chin right there. Chin, since you're the go-to guy when it comes to that kind of stuff, what do you personally want for GTA 6? Like whether it's how realistic it looks, what kind of engine it potentially is on, all that stuff. What are your personal thoughts for it?
I think a big thing for it is going to be interactivity. Like that's what I expect from Rockstar. I expect a real jump in It's hard to say realism with GTA because it's not.
Realism
it's
with
not.
GTA
It's
really
but can they? Do I trust them to find a way to mix the realism of Red Dead with the insanity of GTA 5? I really do, right? Like I feel like they'll find a fine balance that's just gonna blow people away that you don't get from something as ridiculous as like Saints Row, right? Like Saints Row is just insanity, right? But GTA still keeps
you're whipping
itself
around like a
grounded.
6 foot, you know.
6-foot thick dildo sword,
Yeah,
like
thick.
and you're wearing like luchador masks and have like superpowers. It's insane.
Yeah.
And while GTA, the thing is GTA, it's only recently that it really went to out of the norm of like I guess it's not like not reality, but kind of. But I mean, like before, it was like the craziest thing you could have when GTA 5 came out was like a tank, and like you could steal a jet from a military base, right? Like that's crazy
Helicopter,
stuff to
right.
do. But that's not insane, right? Now there's like flying bikes and orbital drop missiles from satellites, and it's like I don't know where the game went, but I still have a lot of fun with it.
I mean, aside from the flying bike, it's still technically realistic. Hack a satellite.
That's what I'm
fire some
saying. That's
missiles.
what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like it's
technically,
not.
I mean,
Like it's not out of the realm of reality. It's just I feel like a lot crazier than it's ever been. I think
it's reaching that borderline of reality versus yeah.
I think where GTA is going to succeed is making their world feel alive. And that's going to be a heavier task than Red Dead, because Red Dead you get away with it feeling alive but also dead at the same time because it's the Wild West, right? Like you don't expect it to be overflowing with life and people. But it was always beautiful to go into like the forest areas and see all the animals and stuff. But GTA, you're going to want it to feel like a heavy, bustling, lively city the entire time you play it, and that's going to be their challenge. Other than that though, like I just expect mayhem, and then what I really hope to see is how they carry on GTA Online, because to me it's going to be the same. It's got to be the same thing, right? Because it's not GTA 5 online, it's GTA Online. So like I would really hope, especially as someone who's put in I don't know thousands of hours in the online alone, that they have some sort of character like transfer system so that you get to keep your stuff.
Two things I think they absolutely have to do, because we're assuming with GTA 6 they're going to have some kind of graphical update, right? It's not going to look exactly like GTA 5. You would expect them to either have a new engine or to vastly improve the graphics, because it's been, at the time this game comes out, realistically it's going to be like what? 10 years between 5 and
over 10,
6,
a while.
right? Something like that. So you're going to expect some graphical updates, right? So two things they have to absolutely do is either A, using that new engine or upgraded engine, they basically take everything from GTA line and they bring it on over, which then they allow you to transfer your character over, right? Because you don't want to have the thing where you have with like all the FIFA games and the sports games and everything like that, where every single year after you've done all of those microtransactions and everything, guess what? Wiped clean, got to start over again. You know, the community would be absolutely floored by that, right?
It wouldn't work for them. And the thing is they've done so much, and like, look, I get it. Like GTA Plus still pisses me off, but, and I was just talking this with Bob last night, how they've transformed their game from just like a simple online like sandbox to a live service like MMO style game, right? Like your character has progression, your character has story to it, that you have unlockables, you have customization, you have so much that people have spent. Like I think I've spent $20 on online over my entire lifetime of playing it.
There are people that spend way more than that.
Yeah, and they're dumb, because you know how many money glitches there are in the game, and like you don't get in trouble for doing it. It's awesome. It's crazy. I've made tens and tens of millions and bought so many things just by glitching the game over and over again, because why would I ever pay for stuff when I can get it for free?
Finally patch that because of you now.
Oh, dude, they patch it every patch. There's a patch every update. They patch a money glitch, and there's a brand new one that they created somehow. But yeah, it's just they can't get. I don't think they would get away with making you start from zero.
Yeah,
it wouldn't work. It just would not work. Not after how much people have put in to GTA Online. Like, it's possible, but I certainly would not be happy. I would be very sad.
Oh, that Chin video, I could see that now. Ooh.
But here's the thing too, is that you're selling a new game, and you want new players to feel like they can come in without being absolutely demolished by those players who've built up 10 years of stuff. That's the only way I could see them going, hey, we have to reset online. We have to do it
I think
for this.
I think there's a proper
so.
way to reset online though, because when there's two ways I could potentially look at this. Number one is quote unquote reset the characters, but Chin, you're the one who plays this all the time, so any like cosmetics that you've bought or anything that you've bought with physical money, you know, obviously let them all the players keep and everything.
Right.
Or two, you simply I don't want to use block off, but like essentially what you do is when you boot up of GTA Online for the first time after 6 comes out and everything, if you have hit X amount of days played or you're X level or something like that, you are in a server with those people, right?
They actually
And
do
you
that
cannot
now.
cross into that server as a new player until you have hit a certain level. It's not, in my opinion, that's not that hard to do. Probably would be
It's
my
not,
guess.
and that they actually do that. They also have dunce lobbies where if you are killing people over and over, you actually get put in a bad person. It's like you get put in there for being a bad person. You get put in a lobby with other griefers. Like that's actually what they do now in GTA. And then in Red Dead, they, you know, one of the greatest games ever, Lethal, they actually online they have anti-griefing systems, right? Like you can, like kind of like a Fallout has, Fallout 76, right, where you less damage taken, you know, unless you like start attacking them back. You can get the law on them a lot faster. There's a lot of like protections for people who don't want to engage in getting killed over and over.
They can easily do some stuff then for that. For allowing new players to come in, like Bobby said, because you don't want the new players and the chins of the, you know, GTA Online going against each other. I mean, let's be honest, Chin would demolish all of the new players and everything, and then that doesn't they don't want to come back then because they got demolished and killed, and so yeah, they
GTA is a scary place because one time, fun story, I was getting grief by these two dudes, and I was just letting them do it because I was like, they're having fun, and I started getting annoyed. I was like, I'm gonna just destroy these guys today, and I did, and you know what they did to me? They did what is it? They DDoSed me because I did that. I got DDoSed and my internet I got screwed out of my internet for like 6 hours.
There you go.
All because they were
Jesus
they were
Christ.
upset because I was killing them after they killed me like 10 times, and I was like I'm annoyed at these guys, and I destroyed them and they DDoSed me. Very fun. It's very fun online. That's why I don't play in public lobbies anymore on that game. I only play private because people are just crybabies over nothing.
Welcome to the internet right there. Welcome to the internet.
Welcome to the internet, man.
All right, Lethal, Bobby, anything else you want to add to the GTA thing, like what you want, or?
I have
pretty much covered
literally
everything.
never played GTA 5, so I have no comment. I've not played GTA 5.
To be honest, I haven't even played a GTA game. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Wow. I've obviously played GTA games. I haven't touched GTA, I think, since 5 came out, I would probably say. Like, I've never went back, replayed like the online. They got so popular and everything. Like, I was never that big into it. If anything, what I would love to see them do with this next game, personally, I'm a big like nostalgia fan. So if they want to bring in like Tommy and a bunch of other people from like past games and bring them in, that's the shit for me where I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like, now I'm into it because you're bringing back past characters that I care about. Like, you do stuff like that, or even go back to Vice City. Like, I'm a sucker for stuff like that. So like, you just bring back old maps and stuff like that. Like, that's I think that's another way of doing it too.
That's
oh yeah, it's in Miami, right?
That's
so
Miami,
like,
so
yeah, so
it should be
never mind. Like, stuff like that, like just keeping other characters coming in, past characters and stuff like that. I like stuff like that. So
I mean,
personally, if they did something like that, it'll get me in.
Supposed remakes of Red Dead and all this other stuff. So I mean, they should have no excuses.
Yeah, they're obviously putting a lot into this. Like, if they canceled out those projects, like, I would imagine those are some pretty. Well, GTA 4. I'm sorry, I don't know who was crazy for that one, but Red Dead, I could understand that one. I get it, Chin. I get it. All right, Jesus Christ, I get it. Like, Red Dead.
Red Dead, one of the greatest games ever made.
Right, one of the greatest games of all time. I get that remake. That probably makes some sense. But like,
just from smile to.
GTA 4 is so bad. The online was a lot of fun, right? If you have buddies to play it with, of course, right? Almost any game is fun if you have buddies to play it with. Even the worst games, because then you can just make fun of it together. But GTA 4 genuinely was fun online with people, but the campaign was horseshit, and people are
I
like,
just didn't like it.
it was so beautiful.
It was so
wasn't
much
into it.
fun. It had the best story, and I was like, it was snooze fest after 2 missions. How many times I was like, dude, half the time one of the NPCs was calling you to go bowling. Yes, that Nico, let's go bowling.
Nico Bellic.
Like,
I was like, I don't care about him. I was like, I'm ready to move on, bro. Like, where's GTA 5?
Like, who the fuck are you, Nico?
I know. I'm excited for GTA 6. Like, I like how you brought up like the first game was a woman. Wasn't the first game just like a top-down arcade game? You couldn't even really tell who
the original GTAs were top-down.
Just top-down.
I'm gonna take it to the woke section real quick. I don't give a shit that it's a female because everyone says that it's woke, and I'm like, is it woke that I could be a female and still go blow up a stripper club if I want? You know, like, is that really woke? If I could just go terrorize people at gas stations and fly planes into buildings, like, how woke is that?
The game is still gonna sell crazy numbers. They're blowing off steam.
That's why I understand why they're putting resources to it, because they have one of the best-selling games of all time in GTA 5, right?
Yeah.
So they're like,
how do you beat that? You gotta make GTA 6 even better. So
you gotta kill Red Dead Online. That's
But Red Dead 2 is one of the top 10 best-selling games of all time as well. And look
all right,
what they did to my
Mustacho
boy.
there, just calm it down.
Hey, it looks like Lalo Salamanca from Better Call Saul.
Fuck you. Shut the fuck up.
All right. Anyway,
let's move on. I'm done talking.
Speaking of crybabies online and everything, we've got The Last of Us Part 1 remake news. More stuff coming out, and man, the internet has just been going crazy. I've been enjoying it. That whole popcorn meme. Oh man, that's literally been me this entire week with that thing. Like, oh my god. All right, Bobby, you are our the guy who will defend that game to his grave. The Last of Us remake. It's obviously, I don't think anyone can deny that the graphical improvements are there. They are absolutely there, 100%. But in terms of the gameplay changes or gameplay aspects or things to update or anything like that, it doesn't at least seem to be. We haven't actually been able to play the game, obviously, or they haven't really, in my personal opinion, they haven't really shown us much for gameplay, right? Like, they had that trailer that just released. But in terms of actual gameplay or someone holding a controller or doing something, they haven't shown us much for that type of stuff, right? So there doesn't seem to be much in those types of upgrades and everything. And of course, the biggest one is the fact that it's like, they're asking $70 for this when you can just go get the remaster on PlayStation 4 right now, right? So why buy it, right? So Bobby, go.
So I made a video about this like last week, right? When this came out.
Right corner, by the way.
And I very
Chin.
I was very clear that a lot of people are not going to feel like this is worth $70. And I can totally understand that. If you played the game and you're not a person who likes replaying games because of a story, right? And you're not getting multiplayer, like the online multiplayer, the factions mode, you're not getting that back. If a graphical improvement and like AI improvements don't make you want to play it again, don't buy it. 100%. Do not buy it. Because that's what there is. Aside from that, there's like a time trial speedrun mode that they added where you can have like an actual speedrun clock in game for you to, have officially clocked speedruns. So speedrunners are going to love that, and they're obviously going to buy it for that. Otherwise, we don't really know what gameplay improvements. I personally like the AI improvement, like the sound of that, because the AI in 2 was way better than the AI in 1. Like 2, the enemies, like the human enemies, really put pressure on you in a lot of the situations that you were in. And if they brought up the first game to that level, to me, that's pretty cool. For me, and I said this in the video, like I am a Last of Us fanboy, and I'll be the first one to admit that. If I'd had the money when Last of Us 2 dropped, I would have bought that $2,000 Taylor Last of Us 2 guitar, because A, Taylor's are awesome guitars, B, that guitar just looked rad, and C, Last of Us is like one of my favorite game franchises of all time. A lot of people had a problem with Last of Us 2. I loved Last of Us 2. I thought it was very very different, and Chin can talk all he wants about how Last of Us 2 is not the same, but I made him sit and play it for an hour after he was like, I'm not playing it because it did my boy Joel dirty. They did him dirty. And I get that sentiment from everybody who says that. But knowing what happened to Joel, he sat there and played it. And he's playing as Abby in the first part. And he's like, oh, Abby, run, Abby. Like, he was getting into it. And I was like, that is the point of the game. That you know who she is, what she did. And yet at the same time, when you have to play as her, you end up like empathizing with her. And that makes the midway fight in the game, and especially the end fight of the game, so much more impactful that you have to look at it from both sides of the spectrum. And that's why The Last of Us 2, in my opinion, is like really, really great. Because it makes you go like, look, everybody's the hero and everybody's the villain. It just depends on who you're looking, whose side you're looking at it from, right? And so
she still did my boy Joel dirty.
I'm not disagreeing. I understand that, but for me, like The Last of Us, I think like that is one of the best game franchises, both 1 and 2. I am totally happy paying. I didn't even pay $7. I paid $100. I got the Firefly edition because I love the Last of Us franchise. I haven't been able to get a special edition yet, and I saw that.
You're doing that review, by the way.
And me and Lethal and Iron, we all got the Firefly edition. I know you did, Lethal, because you put it in the Gilded. Like that day, you're like, I got one. Like, and I was like, yes, all right. So, like, to me, it's worth it because it's one of my favorite games. It's gonna look as good as The Last of Us 2, which, in my opinion, is still, in terms of animation,
better than Last of Us 2.
It is gonna look better. It is gonna look better.
I think it'll look better. I think so too. Like they're taking a lot of what they learned from 2. I think in terms of like the visual stuff, they're really going in with the first one for visual.
And I think that's good. I think to me that's worth it to me. And I understand if it's not worth it to you, Tallen, or to Chin. If you guys are like, you know what, I'll wait till like Christmas time. It'll be down to like it'll be down to like $50, $40. Cool. If you want to wait till it's like $9.99 in a year, do that. Awesome. For me, like I said, I'm a super fan of that franchise. I have no shame in admitting it. I understand why a ton of people would say this is a cash grab, not worth all that stuff. But for me, it's worth. Right. And, I think there was one comment on the YouTube video that was like, I don't care, worth it to me, I'm buying it. And everyone else is like, cash grab, all that. And I was like, that sounds about right. Like this is not made for, I don't think it's made for everybody. I think it's made for people who are really big Last of Us fans.
That it's also made for, I personally, just where I jump in, this is also, I think, made for people who are just getting into the series from the show. Like that thing, that's the other big avenue
that could be true too.
Is like, we all know the show is getting pushed, is going to get its promotion probably within the next couple of months. Don't be surprised. Maybe in September we get a trailer for it. Oh, what a surprise, right? The game release and now the TV show trailer for HBO. Like that's how those marketing beats kind of start and they start going through. So in my opinion, I look at it as more of like, yes, exactly what you said, Bobby. Definitely made for the people who love the franchise and everything, but this is definitely going to be where people who are like, what the hell is Last of Us, which God forbid, I've seen people on the internet who are like, what is The Last of Us? I'm like, how old are you? They're like 13. I'm like, get off of Twitter, bro. You should not be 13 on Twitter. I can't, bro. I felt so old looking at some of the like threads. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Here I am in my 20s and there's kids like 14 on Twitter. Like, what is Last of Us? I'm like, oh, no.
I'm going to be 40 in a few years. I don't want to hear it. So, I was your age when you were their age, Lethal. All right.
But there's definitely like, it's crazy to think that there's definitely a new audience of gamers who are emerging, who are becoming of age and are like, what the hell is Last of Us?
So we always do have to remember that, right? I mean, like back in our
is the big
days,
thing,
by playing games and everything, right? Like, we had all the classics and everything that we played and everything like that. And then by the time we get into our 20s, you have the next generation of gamers coming in and being like, well, I've never played this game. And we're just like, wait, what? We always need to take a step back sometimes and remember that, hey, it's always someone's time. It's gonna sound really weird. It's always someone's first when it comes to a game. Right?
There you go, Tallen. There you go.
I just watched Beavis and Butthead do the universe yesterday, and that was totally that energy, Chin. You're just like,
totally was.
You know what will really make you feel old though? Is and it will happen. I guarantee it'll happen one day. But some kid is gonna say, "What's Fortnite?"
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
One day.
scary. That's scary. I don't
One
want to
day,
think about
the
Yeah.
most
that.
popular
One day.
game of almost all time.
Yep.
One day, someone's gonna say, "What is that game?"
Yeah.
We're gonna be
or
like,
Minecraft.
Let me
right?
let me
Oh,
tell
what is
you a
Minecraft?
tale of tilted towers.
Yeah.
All right, sit
Th-
down.
There's a
Grandson,
chance.
let me
Towers.
tell you a tale.
Oh my God.
There's a chance that as we get older, there are gonna be kids who are like, "What is Pokemon?" And that,
Oh,
to me,
I don't
that
know.
would hurt, right? Because like,
that's a bit of a stretch in my opinion, but you know.
I don't know.
That
Well,
one, I
like
don't
think
know.
about this,
It's
right?
possible.
Fortnite has been very popular for what, 5 years. Minecraft's been around what, like 10 years? About then?
Something like that,
Maybe
yeah.
more.
But
Yeah.
like there's kids now that might go, "Oh, what's Metal Gear?" And
Oh,
that last
definitely.
game was just a
Well,
few years ago.
Well, that
right?
I could get because Konami sucks, but yeah.
Konami
Well, yeah,
sucks
I
at it.
mean,
And they haven't done anything with Metal Gear and since what,
I don't know.
5?
I guarantee you there were
anything with
kids
it.
before a year ago that were like, "What's Metroid?" Like, and then Dread
Yeah,
came out and they're like,
never.
"Oh, this is
Yeah,
rad," right?
Well, yeah. Right.
But yeah, that's true. And I mean, Chin does that
Where's
sometimes
my
to me,
Prime
and I'm
game?
just
I
like,
need Prime.
you know, what am I? I'm
Lethal
11,
knows,
12 years
Lethal
older than you,
knows.
Chin.
11, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like 11 years older than Chin, right? There's some times where I say stuff and he just like literally I said something yesterday. He looked at me, he's like, "You are so old, man."
I did.
And I was like, "Hey,
It was some reference. I think we were making fun of the way I think Toppo looks in Dragon Ball Super, and he said some reference to what was some old ass wrestler back in the day.
oh yeah, I said
like-
he has like the body style of like Ernest Borgnine, that bodybuilder style from the 50s." And he just looked at me, he's like, "You are so old." Chad, if you don't know who Ernest Borgnine is, that's your problem.
I'll put a
That's
picture
not
up.
mine.
Now you know
Yeah,
how
that's-
old Bobby is. That is how old he is.
Yeah, like you're lucky I didn't make
I don't even
a
know who that is. And I'm
you
pretty sure I'm the
I don't
second
know who
oldest
that
out of
is
all of
either,
us
yeah.
here. So
you look, I didn't make a Gary Cooper reference, okay? You know, Lee Van Cleef or something. That's like your dad's generation. Chin.
okay,
This is
we're
my way to-
really
this is how we
aging-
carbon date
we're
Bobby
really
in
aging
real
us right
time.
now. Holy
Yes.
crap, Bobby.
I'm old. Also, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents when I was a kid, so I know way more
I did
older
too,
stuff
but
than I should.
damn.
I'm just surprised you're not like, remember Santa Claus with Tim Allen and all the white hair just like grows in.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
speed. Like,
No, that's me on the inside, like 100%.
yeah. Yes.
Like in here, I'm like 85. I'm like, turn the
Dude, go
damn
back and
music
wa-
down, kids.
Go back and watch some of those old movies, man. Some of the jokes that you don't get when you're a kid, and you're just like, holy crap, they got away with that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about SpongeBob. Love SpongeBob, man. SpongeBob gets away with
All right.
a lot for
Before we
Nickelodeon
get
show.
called super boomers in the chat, let us know your thoughts down below. Are you going to buy The Last of Us remake? Are you going to wait for a sale? Or are you just going to simply play the remaster on PlayStation? Because last I checked, it's on Plus or it's on Extra. Regardless, it's on there. So
Also,
let's
just
hear
to
your
toss
thoughts on
out there, if you're someone who rebuys like the new Zeldas, like if you bought like Wind Waker for the 50th time, or you're buying like, I don't want to hear you ever complain about stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I've seen a lot of
that's
people
true.
Complain about that too.
Because
there's also those Nintendo people who are like, oh, how would you like that's a cash grab? I'm like, hold on,
Oh,
you're a
Nintendo
Nintendo guy.
fans,
I don't want to
Nintendo
hear
fans
that.
cannot talk.
You're the last person that should be talking.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
did
hear
you buy
that.
did you buy
Last
Diamond
should be talking.
Did you buy Diamond and Pearl
Yeah,
remake?
Did you buy
Did
the
you?
fifth remake of like the second
Did
gen
you
game? Like, yeah,
buy
I
the
don't want to hear
Switch
that.
OLED?
Yeah, the
Fuck,
Switch
Dude, you
OLED.
kidding me? Yeah. You
Just had to
and
put that
Lethal.
out there. Disclaimer.
Yo,
I've seen
now
that.
I have multiple Switches.
Yeah,
It's-
well,
it's-
now Lethal has something even better than a Switch. So
The 1 gallon jug of water.
The Switch
My
2.
God, do you guys want to see it? Do you guys want
Yes,
to see
I
it?
do.
I'll show you
I
that
want to see
thing.
it, dude.
It's
I
as big as
gotta
your
see
water
this.
jug, isn't it?
He's got to
know-
get it, folks.
I ain't gonna lie. What's his name? His name is he's one of our Nolar. That's his name. He said we could.
I
He
want
said
you
Bobby.
guys to-
He said we could borrow his stream his deck if we ever need to for anything, for like videos or something.
Yeah. It's a big boy. Look at
All right, editor.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, that thing is huge.
Editor, make sure
It's a
that
big
there's like a
boy.
golden glow around that, and we hear some like angelic
Yeah.
choir music when he lifts that up, please.
that. It's big.
That is
That
beautiful.
looks,
Holy
that is-
crap.
Look at this. Like, look at this. This thing is like it's ginormous, dude.
Look at the size of that
What
deck.
version did you go with again? You went the
Oh man.
I went the middle tier
Thick.
model. So I went
Yeah,
the
because you can
Girthy,
switch
give
the
it a
hard
second.
drive out yourself, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna get when I get it, because
I don't know. I can't really do like a size comparison, but you can kind of get like.
Well, and the OLED's bigger than the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Man, they say size doesn't matter, but I don't know. Oh, look at that.
No, it's worth it. Let me tell you.
This thing is awesome.
What I love right there is that it has ergonomic handles, like for the controllers. Yeah, that there's like, because that's the worst thing, and that's what like Chin got me a thing for Christmas. That's like a shell you put around the Switch that gives it like ergonomic grip. And I have played my Switch OLED more handheld than I ever played my other one, just because of that. Because I can use that thing and the OLED screen is better. And I'm like, this is actually a pleasant experience now to play this in handheld, which is why I never played it in handheld in the first place. And seeing that the Steam Deck just has that right there is like, when I have the money, I'm pre-ordering one of those and waiting 9 months for it. It's like a baby. Lethal, you had a baby.
It's worth it. I'm gonna say right now, I've only had like 2 days with it, but after 2 days of review, I can say it's worth every penny.
How much did it cost you? 500, 600?
Yeah, it's like 500 for me.
500. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Is that the top model?
No, middle.
No, this is the middle model.
The middle model lets you switch out the hard drive, so that's why you get that, because you can just buy your own hard drive and throw it in.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot
like
you can do with
2-3 terabyte one or something like that, and just be like, all right, there you go.
Yeah.
So, all right, and I keep seeing that with the Steam Deck, like almost. It feels like every week, but I'm not sure on the exact schedule. But more and more games are being completely compatible with it and everything, right? Like the list of games that were quote unquote 100% compatible with it and everything has just been growing every what seems like a week.
Plus like Valve and Steam and all of them, like they're just killing it in terms of updates. They update this thing like every week. Like that's the other thing I like that I'm really happy with it too, is they're doing such a great job with keeping it like up to date, listening to feedback. Well, like you know, you'll see a lot of people be like, oh, add this to Linux or add this whatever, and like they're so quick to be like, oh, hey, we just implemented a new feature that gives you all of this, and I'm like, God damn, you guys are killing it. Like they're the one product that they're doing really good on, it's the damn Steam Deck. So
well, like let's be real, like what else is Valve working on?
Nothing.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they keep Steam going, and now they keep the Steam Deck going. The last game they made was Half-Life Alyx. That was 2019, right?
Yeah, probably. And that was like the last game or something.
Yeah. So, that being said, like they have not too much else to work on. So hopefully they can keep it going where they keep that thing like churning out more and more compatible games. I mean, some of us have years and years. Yeah. Like I have 10 years of Steam library that when I get that, I can play any of it on there.
Pretty much. Yeah.
BioShock Infinite. Be the first thing I play on there.
There's a good game. Yeah. Good game right there. So, all right, guys. Well, I think unless anyone else has anything else they want to cover real quick, that is pretty much all the topics for the podcast and everything. We've talked about a lot. Lethal got to show off his beautiful Steam Deck right there. Keep an eye on the channel for a very special video about that stuff. So anyway, guys, with that being said, I want to give again a special thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring this podcast. Again, if you want to use the code down below, you'll see all the details there. And again, Chin, right there, man. Perfect timing as always. So anyway, I've been Tallen with 59 Direct, again joined by Lethal, Chin, and LittleBobby, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Johnny.